education is a continuous process. Cicero, Rome's greatest orator, over 2,000 years ago, was a little bit more adamant about understanding and appreciating one's past, one's history, one's culture. And his language is pretty direct. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is always to be a child. I will leave Cicero with you. Think about it, my friends. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is always to be a child. Don't we owe it to our ancestors to know about their struggles, their contributions, and what they've given to us? But also I found a great comfort with respect to education in the words and the wisdom of not a 17-year-old freshman college, not a 17-year-old sophomore in college, but a 17-year-old junior in one of our most prestigious colleges in this nation. And think about this. Think of what you were thinking and what I was thinking at the age of 17. I won't disclose it. But think about the genius and the wisdom of a 17-year-old college junior, who in his words, and I quote, education has a twofold function in society. On the one hand, it should discipline the mind for sustained and persistent speculation. On the other hand, it should integrate human life around central Forson's idea. Education must also train one for quick, resolute, and effective thinking. Let me go through that one again. Education must also train one for quick, resolute, and effective thinking. Education must enable one to sift and weigh evidence, to discern the truth from the false, the real from the unreal, and the facts from the fiction. That's one of the themes here, is to dispel the notion that black folks, Hispanics, and Asian Americans, and Hispanics, and others, Americans, do not care for the conservation of resources. If you're educated, you know that that is not true, that we do care. He concludes that intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. The complete education gives one not only power of concentration, but worthy objectives. Our history is a story often told with images of sewing, a patchwork quilt in which each piece has a special story, but the full effect is only achieved when they are sewn together, or in another version, a tapestry of interwoven strands of every hue and color, forming patterns of great beauty. That is your national park system, because you can think about the wisdom and the genius of George Washington Carver or Thomas Edison that's commemorated. You can think about the thirst for education as exemplified by the legacy of Dr. Mary. You can respond affirmatively to what Dr. King called our most persistent and urgent question: what are you doing for others? You can think about the voice that stretched from continent to continent by Frederick Douglass when he was echoing that some 4 million of my ancestors who were enslaved should understand that they too should be entitled to freedom and justice as the Constitution provides. They certainly can understand that we, under stressful times, question the allegiance of some fellow Americans and know that we were wrong, as witnessed by Manzanar, or we did in fact imprison fellow Americans because we thought their allegiance maybe to Japan during World War II. We made that mistake. We can think about the men and women who literally gave their lives from Selma to Montgomery. that was in fact guaranteed by the 15th Amendment of the Constitution over 100 years ago. We can think about the 9 brave men and women, boys and girls, who tested the American will to integrate to Little Rock Central High School, notwithstanding the Supreme Court's decision of 1952. I could go on and on and on. These are stories that are to be told. There are lessons to be learned. And yes, these are some difficult chapters, but they are places of learning. The late preeminent historian, Dr. John Hope Franklin, would remind us that these are indeed places of sad history, sad chapters, but they are not places in which we are to wallow in remorse, but rather be moved to a high resolve to become better citizens. That's why you have national park, national monuments, national historic sites. Not to just honor those who have given of themselves, but hopefully will encourage us to be better ourselves. Certainly as one considers the natural resources, we know too that we need to rely upon young people who are entering the scientific field so they would know about the management through adaptive change relative to climate change. They would know how to best manage limited fossil fuel. We have to have an unwavering commitment to our youth. I'm pleased to announce that on June the 6th, Secretary Salazar signed a secretarial order establishing an Office of Youth. I'm equally pleased to announce that that office falls under my responsibility. The lessons have been given to us. The lessons have been taught. It's a question, did we listen? And are we prepared to take heed? And I will close you with the wisdom of 2 Johns, former President Nelson Mandela advised you that the future is in the hands of our youth. And if we do not involve our youth in conservation management, we will not succeed in our efforts to save nature and humanity. I listened to Nelson Mandela. But witness this, my friend. Witness this. Some 48 years before, one of our own giants, who was born of emancipated parents from the cotton fields of South Carolina, the 15th of 17 children, self-taught with $5, started, which is today one of our most prestigious historically black colleges. In 1935, founded the National Council of Negro Women, served as an advisor to 4 presidents, who died on the year that she recorded these words that I will share with you. A mere 4 years after her death, Congress enacted a bill signed into law by President Eisenhower that would authorize the organization that she founded to construct a memorial on park land to honor her. It is the only memorial in your nation's capital that commemorates not an African American woman, but anyone. Think about her. Think about her statue. In her words, I leave you a responsibility to our young people. The world around us really belongs to the youth, for the youth will take over its future management. Our children must never lose their zeal for building a better world.